In this video, I'm going to show you how to find newspaper articles and of course also other articles through a resource called Factiva. Again, you want to start going to the GSU website and from there to the GSU library site, or the shortcut would be library.gsu.edu. Under names and databases A through Z, you want to select F, and happens to be that Factiva is the first one. If you were to click on this link when you're off campus, it will of course ask you for your GSU credentials to be sure that you're currently an enrolled student. Factiva searches are a little more complicated because the search tool requires you to know a little bit about Boolean searches, and therefore you need to spend a little time thinking through your search terms. If you have an author, you can select the author. Companies, of course, you can do that. A subject area will allow you to select down, for instance, specific political news or economic news, sports news, if that's what you're looking for, some specific commodity, financial market news. In terms of industries, you can, of course, go and select agriculture. Click on this little plus, which opens up some more choices for you. You can see agrochemicals here, specifically fishing, forestry, GMOs, horticulture. If you click on this one in agriculture, it'll bring you very specifically down to areas agriculture, the sugar farming, silk farming, livestock farming, cotton farming. If you were to click on agriculture here, you'll see that it places in industry agriculture as your industry in this area. You can also do a regional search here and select down very specific parts of the world. And what I'm going to do in this search is look at Africa, and I'm going to look very specifically at Southern Africa. And just for interest sake, I'm going to pick Zambia. You see in Zambia you also have Lusaka, but I'm going to just pick the whole area, whole country of Zambia as my search area. Of course, your English is my articles, but if I can read other articles, it certainly would be possible to look at any one of these other language articles if you want to do that. And what we're going to look at here is then agriculture. Even though we have that in our industry, I'm looking for articles that have the word agriculture in there. I'm going to put "and" here is a search term. You don't necessarily have to capitalize that, but I'm going to put that in there. Agriculture and sustainability, or grain storage, and I am going to then do a search here and we'll see what we'll find. Because you see, actually we have a very limited number of articles here. In the last 3 months here, we actually have only one article: Britain refuses toxic substance in Zambeef products. We, in this case, will then have to go back and say this is not good. So because our search had only one search result, what we're going to do is try this over again, and we're going to look at agriculture and Africa and sustainability. And we're going to run this search without selecting specific regions. And then we come up with significantly more article. But you have lots of different articles relating to this topic. And so one of the results is you may have to go back and limit the amount of articles specifically by narrowing down your search. Here you, for instance, see some companies or organizations that are covered in your search results. You have some executives. This may be a good way to start looking about who may be important executives in this industry. For instance, who is this Achim Steiner? Authors. Here's some interesting authors about this article. So this may be another way for you to start narrowing your searches or specifically looking for who are the people writing about this. Here are all kinds of different trust and financial services. Well, we're going to see if we're not going to looking at that. So I say industry not looking at those. It'll reduce the results a little bit. We can specifically look at regions. So I click on Africa, and now it's going to look at the region Africa, but not financial instruments. And that will, of course, reduce your number of articles a little bit. But that does not mean that that immediately solves you and gets you just the perfect articles. So one of the things we may want to do now is look at how to further reduce our search terms in order to get to a more acceptable set. Now to modify search here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, instead of sustainability here, I'm going to put in grain storage. Because what this means is I'm going to look for African agriculture articles that look at grain storage. And we're going to run a search. We got something from the Ukraine. Of course, folks from everywhere in the world are involved in Africa, so that's why this will show up here. Here's Bashir in the Sudan talking about combating hunger in Africa. Something about Australia, grain storage in Australia, maybe some interesting articles. And here shows up, interesting, ACO prepares youth for careers in agriculture. And here's an article that appeared in a magazine called Agriculture Week, and we can see a little bit about that. This is news, something that was published in the United States, and it tells a little bit about what the publication is all about. And they have a staff reporter here that reported on ACO, and here we actually have their ticker symbol. You've got some titles of people here. Eric Raby. You have here Martin Neichenhagen, the chairman and CEO. So these are ways in which you can, in the press, find the names of individuals around whom you can then start doing some research. So using sources like this, articles like this, you do some background reading. Hope this is useful. Factiva is a very powerful tool.